Let's go straight to Donald Trump. As the final result in the New Hampshire primary was closer than some expected.
I mean, it's supposed to be like a 20-point blowout, according to tracking polls.
Well, and that's why I think Trump was mad. But then Nikki Haley came out pretty early in the night and said that she was marching on with her campaign. And Trump delivered a venomous victory speech after learning that Haley planned to stay in the race despite her loss to Trump. His wild appearance coming amid another day of angry binge posts on social media.
It's not well.
Who the hell was the imposter that went up on the stage before and, claimed a victory? She did very poorly, actually. You know, we won New Hampshire 3 times now. Three. We win it every time. We win the primary, we win the generals. This is not your typical victory speech, but let's not have somebody take a victory when she had a very bad night. I find in life you can't let people get away with bull, okay? You can't. You just can't do that. And when I watched her in the fancy dress that probably wasn't so fancy come up, I said, what's she doing? We won. Did you ever think that she actually appointed you, Tim? And think of it, appointed, and you're the senator of her state, and she endorsed me. You must really hate her. No, it's a shame. It's a shame. Uh-oh.
I just love you.
No, that's why he's a great politician. You have the now very unpopular governor of this state. This guy, he's got to be on something. I've never seen anybody with energy. He's like hopscotch. We have beaten Biden. You could almost say, who can't? Who the hell can't? The man can't put 2 sentences together. And just a little note to Nikki. She's not going to win. She's not going to win. But if she did, she would be under investigation by those people in 15 minutes. And I could tell you 5 reasons why already. Not big reasons. A little stuff that she doesn't want to talk about. I don't get too angry. I get even.
Oh, that was kind of a little threat right there.
Yeah,
and that's going to be the choice for Nikki Haley.
That's a threat. I just here we have Donald Trump mocking Chris Sununu, who made it clear yesterday and has made it clear throughout this campaign he is not a man to be mocked. He was on Fox News yesterday saying that Donald Trump had gotten too old, that he was almost 80. And the Fox News host chimed in.
He's 77.
Yeah, said he's 77. To which Chris Sununu said, yeah, almost 80. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go over math later. And then talked about all of his senior moments. And by the way, they were shouting geriatric from the crowd yesterday at Nikki Haley's event. This is what's freaking Donald Trump out. He's being exposed. But just for the record here, I'm reading from The Hill. Despite what Trump claimed, that Sununu is very unpopular, he has a 63% approval rating compared to Donald Trump's 42% approval rating in New Hampshire. And as Chris Sununu said, I've never lost an election. You have. And you think, Mika, and I agree, she should take Chris Sununu to South Carolina.
Everywhere she goes.
Everywhere she goes.
I think, I think for everybody has a different kind of point where they feel that they're pushing things too far. I think that Nikki Haley is, a very strong Southern woman. And, at the same time, there might be some breaks in her brain where she thinks, oh, I can't go that far. Chris Sununu is showing her, yes, you can. When you're speaking the truth about someone who had sex with a porn star and then took the money for his campaign, let's start right there. Someone who defamed and raped a woman, let's start right there. Someone who stole documents and admits to it and says they're his, let's start right there. Foreign policy. Go in there, go after him, and let's talk about the threat that he poses to our democracy. I think that he can show her that it's actually easy once you push through that. But Republicans have kind of like these brakes they put on in their brain where they're too afraid to go too close to Donald Trump. At this point, if she wants this campaign to continue, I don't think she has any other choice but to go in 100% after him.
There's one way. There's one way out, and that is by winning. That is by going after Donald Trump and just telling the truth. And as Mika said, it's the truth to say a judge in New York, after a jury said Donald Trump was liable.
Instead of saying I'm not following that.
For sexually abusing her, the judge said what he did was rape. Let's call rape rape. And then, he funneled money to pay off a porn star a couple of weeks before his election. And my God, if a congressman or a senator or a governor or anybody had done that without reporting that, they would be in jail. I know. I knew members of Congress that got put in jail for going golfing in Ireland and coming back and reading a speech on the floor. So please, the double standards are really, really crazy. But John Heilman, this idea that this election's over, Nikki Haley, I know that's what the Biden campaign wants because they desperately want to match up with Donald Trump. I know that's what Donald Trump. I would be
careful what you wish for.
That's what Donald Trump wants. The fact is, let's compare what people were saying about Nikki Haley at the beginning of the week and what they were saying about Nikki Haley at the end of the week. I mean, there was a lot of growth just in those 3 or 4 days. She ended strong. Now she has a month to do that, to go around South Carolina, where she was governor for 6 years, to go to all the people she knows there. And again, she's got a month while Trump is going crazy. She can work the ground. And by the way, Meek and I met her when she was a state legislator running for governor. Nobody thought she was going to win. Nobody. And when Meek and I left that first debate that we moderated, we said Nikki Haley's going to win. And she did. She beat a lot of big, powerful men that were supposed to humiliate her. And anything's possible. She's got a month.